Back to Esports U, more NJCAA Esports Rocket League coming your way. I hope, Mr. Pyro J, we have a series like that last, because that was a ton of fun to watch unfold. Right here, though, we've got Hawkeye Community College and the State Buccaneers.
Do indeed. Yeah, hey, I just would love a game 5 overtime. Oh, it was game 5, wasn't it? And a 1-goal deficit. So
Yep.
just about that with 2 undefeated teams. We've got nearly that again, Bepic. Hawkeye Community College coming in here with just a loss to their name. It's the Shelton State Buccaneers, undefeated on the day. That's Zieni Burger, Reasons, and Sir McFlurry, which got us a little bit hungry before the broadcast. But hey, you know what we're hungry for? Good Rocket League. That's what we expect to happen tonight. Epic. I'm looking forward to this one.
Another one of those top dog situations where the winner can claim that that number 1 spot in the group. This time around, Shelton State have already clinched their spot in playoffs, so they're not too worried about that. But we know how these players get. They are going to be playing their best no matter what the standings in the group. And and NJCAA, great stuff on that early chance from Shelton. And they will look to regain the Buccaneers going off that back wall, but nothing doing there, and a slow start to game 1.
Slow start's just fine, I think, for Shelton State. I was already seeing little acrobatic plays in the air there, but ooh, Antique with a great dunk. Royce trying to take advantage. A nice midfield pass, but Juice was already a little ahead of the play, so some communication, some coordination kinks to still work out here, but chances are still a surplus for either team.
Save there from Zieni Burger across the pitch. Sends off to catch up with the play. Fakes Royce off the ball, and that will allow Sir McFlurry to move forward and kind of take control, but a strong touch will give it up a bit. A couple of misses coming in, and Zieni Burger, a free path to the net, and Shelton State on the first.
Awkward on the back line here for Hawkeye. Juice thought he had the read there and then couldn't course correct in time. So Shelton State, the type to pounce on opportunities where the mistakes are numerous for Hawkeye, and they'll get the first on the board.
Well, we saw in the last best of 5 how important capitalizing on mistakes can be for you, at least in the early stages of that best of 5. But a chance to rebound down the pitch, elected to go for that corner boost as opposed to grabbing possession, but Antique's job here is off the back wall, a chance for Royce to go up, or at least wait for the miss that was taken away before they had a chance to shoot that ball on net. And now on the blue end of things, Antique going to turn it quickly aside, and first 90 seconds, finally like Hawkeye Community College starting to get some chances in the offensive end.
I do like how they're getting some possession here. I will admit, though, Hawkeye College, they're also getting a little more composed on defense, too. The way they're clearing to corner and even getting a second touch on the ball shows me they're being very intentional with their touches. And that intentionality going to need to continue as more is coming out for Shelton State. That one blocked. Reason to follow. Still not going to be enough. The weak touch sent away by Antique.
Oh, that was about as close as it gets, but some great closure, the word you just used to describe the defense of Hawkeye, came into effect right there. No panic. They made the save and got the clear. So, still down just the one. Could equalize, and Antique will do just that from the heavens above. There's the tie.
Like a tracking missile, saw this ball come up and got it with pinpoint accuracy. Don't give Antique that time, because he will do the crime. It looked criminal, stealing from the Buccaneers, who should be more adept at, but Shelton State, Shelton State, the Buccaneers themselves doing the stealing, so good on them. An equalized score line. It's gonna go a little bit differently. Oh my, Bepic, I'm still keeping up with it. Juice was the first one to miss out on the shot against them, but here he is scoring like no other.
Made it look easy, too. I guess catching out the Shelton State defense right there. Just a quick stop and pop, and that was all it took. Sir McFlurry, very awkward indeed. And Hawkeye, out of nowhere, a lead in this first game. Now it's Buccaneers' turn to try and respond to some controversy, some adversity is the word I'm looking for right there. But instead, they're just going to give up another. That ball sailing into the back of the orange net, and Hawkeye going to double their lead.
And there the red responding. Antique was open opportunities, really taking advantage, knows how to kick that in exactly where it's needed. Shelton State gonna need to get those recoveries going a bit sooner because they're leaving their goal line high and dry.
Royce having to race back, get there in time. Reasons right back into the blue box, but Juice hasn't covered. A drop down to Antique, nearly like a pass to Sir McFlurry, but the idea was right. No clearance results, though. That bomb should result in a clear. Sir McFlurry awkward again defensively, having a tough time reading the game at the moment, and it could have led to a chance there for Hawkeye Community College, but instead Hawkeye just going to maintain possession, going through the corners, take a long shot off the corner there, a chance for Juice, but still that 3-1 scoreline despite some peppering of the Shelton State net.
And Juice wants to equalize on Antique's goals here and get them both at 2, but right now he has to work on the defend. Juice, another nice clear that gives possession back to Shelton State. So McFlurry looking at that, but he's already got a teammate on the shot taking. Juice clears it away. And with it right into mid, about a minute remaining. Shelton State, it's starting to set in that if they don't act fast, they're never going to get that win. That could have been the action they needed.
I know that ball was on target. I need to get my eyes checked there, but still, a good thought. I like the intensity being turned up, trying to catch out cars of Hawkeye Community College in the wrong spot and open up a way to the net. Here comes Reasons off the post. Zannyberger back to Reasons, but no shot. Couldn't react in time. And so Hawkeye going to escape that onslaught with relative unscathedness.
Oh, yeah, somehow getting away with it. I mean, just a heartbreaker for Shelton State. That was when they needed it. Still a sliver of a chance, though, as it comes off the ceiling. Reasons a 50-50, but Juice, it's enough space to take amounts of time off the clock. A reset there to get it past another defender. Time wearing thinner than it could for Shelton State, and so Hawkeye Community College take the first win.
The underdogs strike first. They came out here and, you know, they got punched in the mouth to start, but they came back swinging. They put up 8 shots to the 10 of Shelton State, but look at those defensive numbers. 8 saves on those 10 shots for Hawkeye. That was some performance on their own back line.
But yeah, 8, and you talk about 5 from Juice alone. Super redemptive. If you think about the first play, the only goal that went in from Shelton State, you saw Juice kind of awkward on the back line. It was almost a foreshadowing of what could be the crumbling mechanism of Hawkeye was their defense, but they quickly got more composed. We talk about that a lot and how important it is, especially in game 1. If Hawkeye can act like that throughout the game, they'll perform quite well.
Well, as long as their offense is playing up to their defense, they are looking nigh unbeatable because they caught out Shelton State several times there, had just a great read on the game, and those long, lofty balls over the heads of the last men on the Shelton State side proved to be the down of the Buccaneers there. So they'll have to shore up some of those rotations, expecting those lengthy clears this time around. But game 2, a big one, I think, because if Hawkeye takes this one, Shelton State going to have a tough time getting back.
We almost saw a reverse sweep in our last match, so it could be setting up a new narrative, but that team never pulled off the reverse sweep. Nonetheless, not an opportunity you want, so couldn't agree for Shelton State looking for a chance to win this one, and ideally for them, hold on to their undefeated record.
Here's a chance to shoot. Just popping it. All they could do was some Reasons for a shot. Antique recovered in time to find the save, and now being harassed by Reasons there in the corners ended up resulting in anything for Shelton State as Antique recovered in time. So some great rebounds off of initial saves for Hawkeye. They're not allowing anything to go Shelton State's way, even with that early pressure off kickoff.
And that pressure could still give them a chance to score later. Looking at Zieni Berg bring this ball up the field. You know, we've got burgers, we got McFlurries on the field here tonight, Bepic. I can only think about the hunger that Juice must have for the counterattack. It's not quite food, it's not quite a McFlurry, but it's saucy enough, and it's a first one for Hawkeye.
Of course, when we're talking about food names, Juice has to come up and make a play happen there in transition. And again, it's Shelton State having no one back to defend against the shot on net. So that has not been fixed just yet, and we're through the first minute of game 2. We'll see if their offense can make up for some of these mistakes, because so far the Hawkeye Community College defense has been too good. Those Red Tails defensively have been so solid until this play, and Zieni Berger equalizer.
Zieni Berger, the lone goal scorer for Shelton State, rising up again, putting all their faith into this member here and doing it early on. So a quick response, almost essential for State, as if, you know, they'll hold on to that they are the undefeated, they are the better squad. They're gonna have to keep up with Hawkeye if they want to still convince us of that.
Oh, Juice, last man, just had to watch that ball get sent off his crossbar as Royce committed from that third player position. Now in the same spot, coming off the back wall, Juice will move forward a 50 and push it into the corner, but you know, Shelton State started to put the clamps on. Off great pop into the blue box, defense awkward, and Zieni Berger there for the lead.
This player right now, Zieni Berger, is in position to hammer it. But maybe like to see Hawkeye get up to that ball a bit quicker. Reaction time quick, but just not quick enough. Shelton State can enjoy the lead. Oh, while they have it.
Neutral care, followed up by a neutral 50-50, but reasons the player that comes up with possession will put it on net. Antique credited with a save there, and it was a crucial one. That you never want to go down 2 goals. That just seems, well, to come back from the 1-goal deficit, but it just seems that much more hard, because you score 1 here, and just like that, it's tied. That ball a bit high. Antique pop down for someone to move forward, but Royce didn't want to commit and potentially risk an open net on the other end.
Well, and Royce has been that player that hasn't scored yet for Hawkeye, so he's really taking up that third man role. That could work better for this Hawkeye team. Try and play more defensively and start to stop and stay from scoring more. Right now, they're trying to be on the scoring end. That goal's gonna go away, and somehow they don't come up with a point there.
Somehow indeed. No idea what happened there. And now another back end for Hawkeye. Juice will get there in time to make sure that mistake doesn't result in a third for State, but still might reasons off the crossbar and in. They have been a scoring machine so far in this couple of games.
Hey, just on and on again. They're no stranger to the skies, you can tell, because they will lift off at any chance that that ball is going to end up in the box. And on again, they're just the players that are in position. Hawkeye may need to stiffen that backboard defense, quicken their reaction. Right now, Shelton State, they're the quicker team on the field.
Feels like we have flipped roles in between games 1 and 2, and it was Shelton State that was looking outdone on their defensive end, making more and more mistakes leading to goals. But this time around, it's Hawkeye. Reasons there for a second on a completely undefended net. I don't know what happened to the Red Tails back line.
Hey, you know what? We saw 2 timeouts in the last series. Can you call a timeout mid-game? This might be the time for Hawkeye to do it, because like you said, we've seen the potential of this team. We know how much better they can perform. that clearly just has not shown its face in game 2.
Wow.
They almost got fortunate with a clear there. Juice gonna take advantage, finds the shot as it gets strung along and about from the backboard. Good goal for Juice.
Reasons tried to do all they could there to stop the Hawkeye transition. It was a nice initial save, but couldn't recover and cover the entire net, especially with Royce bearing down on much going on in that play. Final minute, 2 goals necessary. That ball on net, saved away, looking for a dunk, but Royce couldn't get it. Still a chance in the offensive end for Hawkeye. Ball off the ceiling, and Antique, a mistouch in the orange box. That might have been the goal scoring opportunity that needed to be capitalized on.
But a bad ball with more time. Shelton State will just do as they have been told. More openings being provided in the box, and Reasons gets the Hattie.
That was a great bump as well. I believe that was Sir McFlurry rushing across the back line after the initial corner challenge. Tried to get 2 and at least forced 1 miss that I can see. So, great strategy there from Shelton State, mixing things up. Taking some time to pressure and some time to shoot, keeping the defense guessing. 5-2. I don't know if they're going to score any more, Pyro. The offenses have been on it in this game, but likely a Shelton State victory to tie this series up. A great rebound game for them.
Yeah, and if you want to talk about rebounding, we need to start thinking about Hawkeye in the next game. Right now, you've got a little bit of absence on the field from Antique a bit, but mostly Royce. 0 goals, 0 assists in not only game 1, but this game 2 as well. Everybody needs to work as a unit here. Double digits on the scoreline as well. We need a team effort coming out from Hawkeye in the next one if they want to keep up with the fast pace of Shelton State.
They really ramped it up. The Buccaneers did there, and now it feels like everything I told Shelton State to do in between games 1 and 2, I have to tell Hawkeye to do here. Settle down defensively, because so many open nets were allowed there. I saw several team bumps as well, and that just doesn't bode well. I mean, obvious analysis here. Come on, dumb caster, but Shelton State had so many freebies in that game. This is a team that's undefeated. You don't need to be giving them any freebies.
Well, you can't give a team freebies when they are relentlessly putting on shots as well, because that turnover is just going to give them more points on the board. We're looking at 7 just from Reasons. I mean, 7 shots in 1 game. How doesn't he get a hat trick at that point? So, yeah, hammering away, getting some more saves on the board for Hawkeye could work out for them. We're just limiting offensive opportunities for Shelton State, but I don't know. This momentum streak for Shelton State speaks differently to me, Bepic, than the last one did. Something tells me they've got some to work with. They are an undefeated after all. Could have just had some time before they warmed up to it.
We saw that in the last series. That is for certain. Big game 3 coming up here, Pyro J. Shelton State's a lot to prove. Gotta make sure that last game win wasn't a fluke, but I'm with you there. Really felt like the beast had been awoken, and now it's up to Hawkeye Community College to figure out how to get it back to sleep.
Yeah, can they get back in that hibernating mode? I would certainly love to see that. And Royce, as we said, has to get in action with this team. That clear to a shot from Antique was almost the antidote, but it's a near miss.
And Juice has switched out of the Dominus into a Monster Cat Octane. So clearly not pleased with their performance in the last game, despite netting 2 of the 2 Hawkeye Community College goals. We'll see what that changes in game. Here's Royce, a centering ball to Antique. Actually, that was just on target. Sir McFlurry to make a save, and now Royce a chance to shoot out into the corner. That is an unfortunate miss, but Juice stepping up, taking a nice shot, forcing 3 orange cars up into the air, and that might help out Antique on that. But another big save. First minute coming on. Hawkeye seem back in it, at least offensively.
Yeah, 5 shots on the board already, so you're starting to see them awaken too, but they've got to start scoring them as well. Oh, and the half flip so close to saving the day, but we've seen so much out of Reasons. It's only right that he survives that demolition long enough to score the first goal.
And again, it's impatience from the Hawkeye back line. They're moving up too quickly. I can see why Antique was there, because it looks like Royce is going to be winning that challenge instead of just demoing the car, but you gotta play the flick. You are last man after all, and Shelton State given one there as well. 90 seconds have elapsed, and the last 30 seemingly a lot different from the last 60. So Hawkeye, I'm trying to get back to it in the offensive end. Best defense, a good offense sometimes, as the old adage goes. But pushed back now, and their transitional defense hasn't been the best in this best of 5.
Yeah, transition defense could help them pull some momentum together. And Zenny Berger just gonna steal the day for that shot, sink the goal in. It was cheeky. But yeah, look at them crash the boards. It's starting to look relentless.
It's starting to get out of hand. Another defensive mistake from Hawkeye Community College. Shelton State, credit to them though, they're hitting their shots now. That is in the last 7 minutes, a 7-2, make it 8-2 scoreline. McFlurry, a third.
Well, we talked the role that momentum plays in Rocket League, and it is one esport where I think momentum plays the greatest factor. Yep. You see the way that Shelton State woke up in game 2. When a team finds their rhythm, sometimes it can be so difficult to break that streak, and it is yet to be broken. State firing on all cylinders and taking advantage of mistake after mistake of Hawkeye. It is going to take an overhaul to reverse this momentum.
And my eyes go to Juice. They were able to lead the scoring for Hawkeye, and I think both game 1 and 2, but not being allowed to do anything. Zieniberger stepping up there and dunking Juice into next week. This is out of hand. We're not even at halftime yet.
As Zieniberger just putting on a clinic at this point, has led her tied the goal scoring for Shelton State in each game, continues to do that here in game 3. I'd like to say maybe for Hawkeye, if they see that player come up with the ball, to start to look up and watch out for a big shot. But at this point, with the lack of composure from Hawkeye on defense, anybody can start putting in these goals. Zieni with the double reset on the backboard. Look at the pass come onto the goal line. I talked about a clinic earlier, Bepic. He's just trying to form a highlight reel now.
I don't care, no one was there for the finish. Give that man a goal for that. That was impressive, but instead that leaking slowly to the orange net. Hawkeye just trying to find something at this point, anything to bring into game number 4, and there it is. Juice now having scored, I think, 3 straight for Hawkeye. It's still him doing all the work, but at least it's a goal.
3 straight indeed, and that was the player you asked for, Bepic. He'll rise up for the first one for Hawkeye Community College. A lot still to go. We named how much it would take for the overhaul, the tidal wave to be, silenced. It could be from Shelton State Buccaneers. They are steering right towards the course of victory, and they show no signs of slowing down, even with a initial shot and almost another there for Hawkeye.
I liked the confidence there from Antique to go for the direction, and they got back in time to defend against the Shelton State push. So not a bad showing, but would like goals. Comeback still possible, and that's an open net, but Royce skying it. In comes the follow-up though, when Antique misses it. They would have been first to that ball, and Hawkeye just squandered 2 golden looks.
Not going to get many of those off of a solidified Shelton State. We've been able to count each and every time that they've stopped the offensive from Hawkeye, showing a whole lot of discipline in this game, even towards the end of it, where they have nearly cemented another victory in this week. So close to match point, but I said nearly cemented bet pick, not certainly. And we are not certain of the win just yet. A late comeback, maybe, for Hawkeye.
Momentum is a fickle thing, and now Juice is rolling. So, 2 goals in 36 seconds, no longer as daunting as the 3 in a minute we saw moments ago. But Burger wants to waste some time in the corner. That's the wrong way, though, so Reasons will be chased back to this ball, I'm sure. Juice beaten on that play, and that is great news for Shelton State. Antique able to coax the ball into the corner out of a dangerous position, and Roy shut down on that clearance attempt. Now Juice awkward. He'll pop that over to the side. Burger in, but that fake challenge actually may have cost the Shelton State chance late, and all right, it's on. Do it, Pyro. Shelton State maintain a 1-goal lead headed into Game 4.
Hey, you got credit where it was due. They did get those 2 goals that brought them in contention for a game there, but just could not close it out. Juice continuing to lead that offensive effort for Hawkeye. They've proven to us, Bepic, that they have the offensive production. They can score. It's just the unlimited points from Shelton State in the first half of that game especially that has proven to be too much for Hawkeye. It appears if they have any chance to come back in this series, they have got to find a way to limit the scoring of Shelton.
And 5 shots. And if I were to say that stat just without any context, you'd think that was Hawkeye's tally in that game. But no, that was Shelton State's tally. And they scored 4 of those. 80% shooting is a formidable number, especially when they still won by 2 goals, being outshot by, they shot half as much as Hawkeye Pyro. And that is not good news. Red Tails, a lot to think about in between this Game 3 and Game 4.
I will give them credit, though. I think 5 of those shots and 4 of those goals almost all came from the first half of the game. So if you look at how this series has progressed, maybe they're starting to even out the playing field as this game and these games go along. So Game 4 could be a chance for Hawkeye to get back in it.
They're going to need more productivity from Antique and Royce as well. Do you have the numbers on how many goals Royce and Antique have scored compared to Juice?
0 from Royce, and the only 2 that came out of Antique was game number 1.
Okay, so those numbers paint a picture for Hawkeye Community College fans, and Shelton State want to keep it going. Now Juice all alone and dunked by Sir McFlurry, but into the opposite blue corner, and Antique missing out on that clear opportunity. Juice will take theirs and send it deep with some chase. Second touch, maybe a third. That's a nice pump out in front. In comes Royce, but too late. An Antique bumped by Burger. Juice, though, we'll get to that ball before Sir McFlurry, and a flurry of opportunities on the Shelton State side of things, but their defense holding.
Yeah, similar to what we saw early on in Game 3. They're keeping that momentum working and that trend-setting, as you said, flurry of opportunities. But what can Antique do to interact that? Maybe with a couple demolitions, they can work at something. The ball coming around the corner and, well, right in the cluttering spawn of Shelton. So they still manage to keep that ball away and keep things even at 0.
Oh, I thought Antique and Juice were going to link up for an incredible passing play for the opening goal, but no dice. Instead, Reasons trying to connect with that ball pinned on the back wall for a pinch, but again, not going to happen. Defenses playing quite well at the moment. Good job keeping the ball in non-dangerous positions. Royce, a win towards the net, but it's at Reasons, and now to the back wall. A miss from Antique will require Juice's efforts to clear that ball far and away from the orange box, and maybe a shot on, but just short of being on target, and Burger a long bomb down the field.
Much less on the offensive side from either team. Only 3 shots to count so far in this game. And you look at a wide opportunity here, though. Set aside by the blatant mistake from Hawkeye. We've seen plenty of that in this series. It only continues to be the detriment of Hawkeye.
That's just miscommunication right there. Royce thought Juice was dumping that off, and Juice was trying to stick with the play, and Antique already up the field, and it's up to his two teammates to buy time at that point, and they could not. So Shelton State, another gift. You think it's Christmas at this point. Hawkeye giving away far too many to their opponents that don't need these freebies, and Sir McFlurry wants to create a chance for one more. Zanny Burger the same, up in the air. We've seen what they can do mechanically. There's one flip, but Juice was up, used everything they had in the tank to make sure that solo play was not.
I wanted to see it from Zanny Burger. Maybe Reasons will get a chance to lifting off to the skies. They love to take on their elevated tactics to the pinnacle of completion. What a finish here from Sir McFlurry, getting in the action. That's his second of the series and the second of Shelton State in this potentially final game of the series.
And bad news for Hawkeye fans. Shelton State almost at shot tally from last game, and we're all the way through this one. So their offense is cooking in this game number 4, and that is not the case for Hawkeye. They've had their looks, but unable to capitalize. Shelton State almost a third, still could be one. Sir McFlurry, though, didn't have the boost or the space to go up for that ball, and 2 minutes left. Clamp starting to be put on Hawkeye. That clear should help, but some great control from Reasons. Put the ball center. Royce a pass over to Juice. Up top for Royce. They'll chase it, but no read made, and Zanny Burger a clear. Another opportunity gone by the wayside.
Hawkeye still with possession on their opponent's side. Shots just coming in slowly and slowly. They need more chances as time does come towards the final minute. And Antique does have a lot of boost here and a good 50 off the backboard, actually. Royce with the shot is a slow roller. Does get past 2, but not past the 3rd. That first shot is going to need to see some follow-ups if Hawkeye want to start scoring on their opponent's net.
There seems to be a bit harder to make the defense jump a bit more and waste boost, but can't live in the past now. Only a minute left. 2 goals required to stay alive for a Hawkeye, or they will have to clinch their spot in the postseason in the final week of group play. That is some great maneuvering from Zanny Burger to get through a couple. And now in the Royce, no, it was more of a 1v1.5 and cut across the play and took it all away. But that is Sir McFlurry stepping right back in to waste these precious seconds for Tails. Strong clear. Where's the follow-up? Juice back to Antique. The shot on, but the save is there. Juice can't step in, and Zanny Burger, I think, just flushed all of the hopes of Hawkeye and their chances of winning this series down the drain.
That may have been the chance they needed, but one final effort here. Juice downfield. Zanny with the backboard touch. Here comes Antique, or Juice for something here. Royce a bit wayward there on the play. Time comes to a close, and Shelton State win their 3rd game in a row. Like we said, this squad just needed a little bit of momentum there that they got in game 2, and their rhythm never left them. And the rest of this series, congratulations to Shelton State as they extend their undefeated record to 8-0.
And they move into the postseason, well, with 1 week in between right now, and with a lot of momentum. That has got to feel good for Shelton State. You are the best team in your group, and going into the postseason, we'll see how they fare against other best teams in other groups. But just of note, before we throw it to a quick break, at that second half, Shelton State didn't put a single shot on net. They relied on their defense all the way to the end there, Pyro, and that's impressive.
Well, and that was the same thing in game 4 too. Hawkeye, they need time to warm up to the offense and the creativity from Shelton State, and unfortunately that needed to unfold a bit more quickly later on in the series. And so that's something to take away as Hawkeye move forward and hope to hold on to their playoff contention here as the final week of NJCAA closes next week.
Yeah, and just stuff to think about as you head into postseason, more than likely if you're Hawkeye. But we got an interview coming up with one of the Shelton State Buccaneers coming up in just a second, so don't go anywhere. Esports U will be right back. Welcome back to Esports U. We've got the coach of Shelton State who just took that series against Hawkeye Community College for Mr. Guido with us. Guido, how are you feeling about that last series, and what did you guys do to adjust to win those 3 straight?
How's it going? So first game, it was a little bit rough. We were struggling as a team to defend our goal, obviously, but we obviously came back the last couple games and really showed how we handle the field. But realistically, they just started calming more, working off each other, and ended up working out right. So.
Hey, it definitely worked out right with 3 straight. Guido, I have to start just by saying I love the fact that your headset perfectly matches the Buccaneers logo. I mean, did they take a picture of your face literally for the logo? That's not my actual interview question, but
that is actually awesome. I never even thought about it, but it's like iconic. Like it's literally identical to it.
It is.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's almost weird how perfect it is. Yeah, but to me about the coaching role a little bit, because it's actually rare that we get a coach to talk instead of a player, so I want to take advantage of that. Do you feel like your role is more prominent games in a series or between and prepping teams or prepping your team as they move into a next match?
More as prepping, I would have to say. I mean, these guys are very, very, very talented. They have previous experience in competing, so most of them understand the gist of how to play as a team in a competitive scenario. So I don't have to do all that much of a coaching role, which is really nice with these guys. They're very talented, smart, well-educated, so they normally just work off each other, and I'm just kind of like there, just like supporting them. So they normally just work together, figure their issues out, where they're struggling the most, but they do a great job.
Perfect. Yeah, I know there's a lot that goes into coaching on both ends, and so it's really cool to hear different styles, different tactics, and what it sounds like is you just have a lot of faith, a lot of trust in your players during those games, and they prove that with an undefeated record. Your squad 8-0 right now. I want to hear, Guido, what was their perspective even coming in to this competition, into this league when it first started? Did you guys imagine that you'd be here with 1 week left, 1 match shy now of potentially a fully undefeated season?
I mean, you got to hope for the best, of course, but I mean, it is awesome to see that they are just blowing it out of the pocket and winning game after game after game. I mean, they're really showing that they're putting in the time, putting in the work, and they also have good grades. Both good on best side. Yeah. Oh, it's great. It's fantastic.
That.
Even better, they're great on the field and in the library and in the study rooms as well. That's phenomenal. Well, that does it for our interview. Got any shout outs you want to make to your boys, to anyone? You've got the floor.
Well, I mean, I would like to shout out Reese, Zini, and Sir McFlurry, of course, for their night. But other than that, I would like to shout out the Shelton State administration. They've done an excellent job on helping us out with creating this for us. Help bring in esports players from all over areas. Sorry for stuttering, but yeah, just giving us an opportunity to participate in these kinds of events. So just appreciate them. I'd like to say thank you. Yeah, that's it.
That's great. Well, congratulations. 8-0 undefeated with 1 week left before the postseason, and we will see you guys there. So thanks for joining us in the interview. Of course, Guido from Shelton State Community College. Now, don't go anywhere. We've still got more Esports U action coming up. Soy and Combo will be casting some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's the ECAC playoffs after this short break. So don't go anywhere. Any more Esports U coming